Welcome, one, welcome all. Welcome to the short, welcome to the tall. It is the Midnight Rider. That's the gentleman Jack. We are here with you on this special day. Oh, it's a very special day. First and foremost, hold on. Let me think about it. It was once, Tuesday, we were together. It was twice, yesterday, we did a show together. It's 3 times? Oh, man. 3 times the dynamic duo is back in the building. But just as we talk about things, and we talk about things on this Friday Eve, we always got to tell you about that one time when people join the show and they watch and they go to the water cooler and they go to the snack counter and they go to the microwave. And all you hear them talking about is the Thursday night Throwdown. Yeah, let's go, baby. We got a fun show. We got a short show. We got to get into some of these details. We got a lot of stuff going on early on. College football. We got a college football preview. We got some news that shook up the college world. And we're going to break it down for you the way we do it so you can have more information so you can be this expert in the coffee room by the water cooler. Also, we got to talk about quick Nat signing, and then we're going to get you right into the game, get your preview for Denver versus the Chargers. And I'm going to try not to say San Diego. First and foremost, how you doing, Jack?
I'm doing all right. What we got here? We got a little Friday Eve, right? I'm excited. Got a big weekend of football coming up. Yeah, I'm easy like a Sunday morning right now, baby. I'm ready.
All right, let's go. First topic of the day. The college football world gets shooken up big time. Look for the ramifications from this to go in the next couple years, and we'll break that down for you. But what happened? Diego Pava, quarterback from Vanderbilt, wins this case, which is basically an injunction against the NCAA. It's going to allow him to play the 2025 football season. The reason this is an issue is because he had 2 years of JUCO, and then he's done his 2 years at Vandy. So he should be graduating going off into the sunset. But this kid has, I guess he wants a fifth. He wants a 5th year. So he basically filed a suit against the NCAA saying that his JUCO years shouldn't count against his NCAA eligibility. He won the injunction. This is the first step of it. Gentleman Jack, what do you think?
It's getting a little bit ridiculous. I mean, they gave a bunch of the kids some extra years during COVID. I understood that. I think that lingered a little longer than it should have. You can look back years ago. We had a quarterback at Florida State. I think it was Chris Winkie. Mm-hmm. He ended up playing until he was like 28 at Florida State. I think he reclassified when he was young. He redshirted. I mean,
he was different. He was different.
I understand. Yes, I understand. I'm just saying this is a case earlier, and now we got this. So okay. I'm not comparing the two as being the same. I'm just saying how it was before, and then now. This guy, I mean, I don't think they should be eligible for 6-7 years of eligibility. 5 should be the max.
Well, this is how we get there. You get the red shirt year, you get the medical red shirt, and then if they were in school prior to 2020, you get the COVID year.
Right. Right. These guys are still a little bit into it. Right. We're going to be another 3 years till we get out of that COVID year stuff. But we got a lot of grown-ass men playing in these college bowls now instead of, college athletes. I don't like it. I don't think you should be 26, 27 years old competing with 19, 20-year-old college players. I think it's a bit of a stretch.
So you have had guys where they've gone because they signed baseball contracts right out of school. Then they come back. That's kind of where Winkie was. He was in that group where he played baseball for 4 or 5 years, then decided to do college. There was a Tennessee quarterback that did the same thing. I can't think of his name. But you have those situations. But this situation actually is a precursor to something else that might get very interesting. Because those JUCO years don't count, you could possibly, because I think schools are going from 125 to 105 man rosters, right? So with the roster dropping, you got about 20 kids that may not have anything to do. You might start seeing teams stash players in some of these JUCOs and then have them bring it up, because that way they get experience, they get to play some, they get to build their bodies. It could almost be like a farm system for
college minor leagues. Yep.
Exactly.
I was thinking the same thing.
And then the other part you get is what we were talking about. You get a guy now that spends 2 years in JUCO and still gets a full 4. He's 24, 25 coming out of school. It's gonna be crazy, man. We're on the verge. Go ahead.
JUCO, community college, whatever, dude. That all should count a year of your eligibility, man. I don't understand how they don't. I mean, so you work out 2 years in JUCO, improve your skills, and then you get picked up D1. So you got 4 years ahead of you now. That's not right.
It's not, but it's a possibility. I mean, now the NCAA can fight back, have its own injunction to inject the injunction, whatever. So it's going to be some interesting stuff going on. And I'm going to get to a couple comments. Maddie. Maddie, once, twice, 3 times a lady. He actually absolutely knew where we were going. Miss V Williams. Hello, friends.
What's up, V?
Hey, keep it up, man. I'm going to talk to you during Christmas. You'll be okay. We'll try to catch up, okay? And then we got Matty Ice again. There are people getting 6, 7, 8 years. Why not give them a 5th? With NILs and the portal, does it really matter anymore?
Right. That's a good point. But give them 6 or 7. Why not give them 5th? Where are you going with that one? But the NILs and the portal, you're right. These kids are bouncing I mean, look at it right now. You're seeing Ewers possibly leaving. Ewers should leave because I think next year it's Archie's team. Right. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Arch play in this college football playoff.
I agree with you on that.
There's a lot going on transfer. I mean, shit, the whole Marshall team went in the portal. There's other teams that got a huge percentage of their lineup in the portal. The portal's going crazy right now. Is there a deadline for that, Midnight Rider?
There is. I think it's a 30-day window that you can go into the portal. And then there's a second. There used to be a second one. I got to double check to see if that second window still exists, because I know coaches were trying to get rid of the second window. But as of right now, last I heard, there are about 2,300 kids in the transfer portal.
Jeez.
I don't know where they're going. And I think the other problem is, schools, depending on what system they're on, some schools are starting up. If you're on a trimester situation, they start up soon. So it's almost impossible to have the perfect mix of doing the portal and the college playoffs. I mean, you just saw the Penn State kids we talked about last week transfer out during the and they're in the midst of the college playoffs. So it's going to be interesting.
It's getting there. It gets more interesting every year, It took me a minute to figure all this NIL and all that out and finish figuring out the portal shit and the transfer stuff. And they're transferring and they're not having to sit out like they used to. Things are a little bit haywire right now, in my opinion. College football is just a big business.
So right now, to be honest with you, Jack, you're not as far down the road as you think. This is, if you've ever been on a roller coaster and you get to that first hurdle and you hear that ticking, that's what you're hearing right now is the ticking. We haven't gone down the hill and around the first turn yet. So we got a whole bunch going to come down the pipeline. I've heard talks of revenue sharing, talks of new conferences or building a super conference. So we're just at the beginning with all of this.
Yeah, super conference is going to be interesting.
Hey, man. It's the way of the world right now. It's the way this thing is going.
It is. But you agree on some of the things I see about it. I mean, the whole reclassifying people, going to different conferences. It's ruining a lot of rivalries that people have enjoyed through the years. You're going to see USC come to Maryland. That was kind of weird.
Oh, if you listen to the ad, Johnny Holiday talks about the Terps playing Big Ten rivals UCLA. I'm surprised he didn't laugh when he said
it. I hear you. But didn't SMU used to be in the ACC at one time? Or am I wrong?
They're in the ACC now. They bought their way.
I know they are now. First year, yes. I thought they had been there before.
No.
Maybe it was big. Was it Big East?
They were never on the East Coast Conference. They may have been in like the Big 8 or the SWAC back in the day, something like that. But
okay. I thought back in the what were they called? The Pony Express days. I thought they were classified on the East Coast.
Nah, that's when everything was still regional then. Everything was super regional then.
I like that. But, that's the old guy being upset at new stuff. It changed. So
that's the things of the Southwest Conference and the Big 8. Maddie jumps in again. Portal shouldn't open until after all games played, period. That's going to be tough.
All games. I agree. But as these teams get eliminated, boom, they can start talking right then once they're eliminated from this playoffs. So,
but then that makes it hard because if I'm a senior, if I'm a junior at Ohio State and we get to the championship game and I could have gone to Maryland and Maryland fills that spot with somebody that's readily available, I'm missing out. And I think that's exactly what happened to this Penn State kid. Exactly what happened.
That's a point. That's a good point.
Let's go. From the big guy, JUCO is college. It should count as a year of eligibility. We both agree with you. We just know that right now this situation happened, and unless the NCAA fights back, they'll probably lose because they don't win a lot of lawsuits. So,
right.
I don't know whose brother, cousin, best friend is the lawyers for the NCAA, but they don't have a good track record.
NCAA can't straighten this out by themselves, like you said. Too many people going to be hounding them. They need something. They got, with all the money flying, all the kids changing teams. They need somebody to governor this, somebody to commissioner this, somebody to run this. I just don't. I think this took the NCAA by storm, just like it took us by storm, because I thought NIL was going to be in the thousands, 20,000, 50,000. I never in my wildest dreams thought kids would be making 8 and 9 million on NIL. So it's a big business, and they need someone to get in, mediate, direct, do something. And when is that going to happen? Because I don't hear nobody even talking like that, Midnight Rider.
We do, but let's talk about this a little bit more later on. Let's get through some of this other stuff and come back to it. Here we go. The classic pen. And Matt, I saw your comment. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge that real quick. Big 8, Big 12, I think. Totally right there with you, buddy. I think it was one of those back in the day. And then when they got the all the stuff, what is it? It weren't allegations. It was the NCAA cracking down on them. They put a poison pill in there and basically tried to kill the program. All right, next up, we get the preview round 1 of the college football playoffs. Let's start with the game that's getting the most traction right now from people watching. And you just talked about them. Let's go ahead and segue right into Penn State SMU as our first game that we talk about. That's probably like the 4th game on your list, Jack, knowing you, because I always jump around.
Nah, son, I'm good.
All right. Any thoughts? Any predictions? We ain't got to be super in depth on this because we ain't got a lot of time.
Yeah, no, Penn State, their defense has got to, shut down Kevin Jennings, the quarterback, because they put up 40 points a game this season, man. One of the top point-scoring offenses in the league. So Penn State's defense has a big job ahead of them But Penn State's defense ain't no slouches neither. They number 6 in the country. So you got a top offense in the country going against a top defense in the country. This should be fun. But we all know James Franklin, man, his record in big games is not great. James Franklin's record is 4-14 versus top 15 teams in his career. It's one of the worst ever. So I think Penn State's going to pull it out, though, because Happy Valley's going to be fired up. It's going to be electric. Like I say, I had the privilege of going to that stadium last year for a big game, and that place is electric. So I look for Penn State to pull this one out, Midnight Rider.
I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I think I agree with you, but I think Penn State is going to get a better ball game than they expected. I think it's going to be cold. I think if SMU can handle the cold, I think SMU is going to at least make it a ball game. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll make it a heck of a ball game, like a 27-24 type of thing. Next up, at 4 o'clock on the 21st, we have Clemson versus Texas. The game we played at the University of Texas. Just so you know, all lower seed or the highest seed, like if you're the 1, 2, or 3, the game's happening at your building.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas Clemson, what you got?
Well, there's a cool little matchup inside this game that has history. Cade Klubnik and Quinn Ewers battled for Texas State championship a few years ago. So they got history. I don't know if Phil Maffa's going to be playing. I heard he was injured. Might be a late decision. That's going to matter because Maffa had a big season this year when he was there. And Klubnik's been pretty on fire his last 4 games since the South Carolina loss, 3 or 4 games it was. Quinn Ewers, he's going to get out there with them wide receivers that Texas offense has with Golden and Helm. And with Texas, they're coming off that loss to Georgia, and they've lost twice to Georgia this year. I'm going to pick Clemson to upset Texas, and that's not just because of the love I got down south. They average 35 points a game, and that offense has found its way the second half of the season, I feel, Midnight Rider. So I'll take Clemson in an upset. What do you got?
Reading my mind. I had the same thing. And I actually think you're going to see Arch Manning, if it's not in a goal line package, you might actually see him take the field and take some drives, start some drives for this team. But I think at the end of the day, I think Dabo and his ability to win big ball games is going to be the X factor in this, and I think they take it late. That's another one I think goes down to the wire, field goal wins it, and Clemson runs off the field. To finish out the Saturday slate, got Tennessee versus Ohio State at Ohio State. Oh, I'm sorry, the Ohio State.
Yeah, I thought that when I wrote it down, but heck with them. Ohio State's coming off a loss to Michigan. They were favored by 3 touchdowns in that game, so that's a tough loss. I like Will Howard at the quarterback spot. They got a nice running back in Judkins. But you go over to Tennessee, man. Nico Iamaleava and Dylan Sampson, the top running back in the SEC, Dylan Sampson. That boy is nice. But I just don't think, man, I'm about to change my pick here. Nah, I think Ohio State's going to beat Tennessee in this one. I like Tennessee. I enjoyed watching them play this year. But I think Ohio State's going to get this victory right here, Midnight Rider. What do you got?
Actually, because I was so big on Nico, I'm a lava. I believe I can fly.
I'm a lava. It's pronounced I-A-M-A-L-V-A. I am a lava.
But I like it better when I say I'm a lever, I can fly. I like it better the way I say
it. Nico can fly.
Real
quick,
they
score a lot of points too.
I like Tennessee as well, Maddie. I'm going Tennessee over Ohio State. I think playing in the SEC has Tennessee forward tough and built for this type of ball game. And I think that's going to be the thing that helps put them over the edge. Getting to some of Maddie's comments real quick while we're here. Maddie says, I just can't see SMU going into Happy Valley and getting a W. That's solid logic, baby. Texas crushes Clemson. I've been going back and forth. If you catch me tomorrow at 3:30, I might say something different. Because I think this is one of those games where the matchup, but I think it just comes down to the coach. And that's the only reason I'm taking Clemson. And then Maddie says Tennessee will be the only road team to win.
That's the toughest one I had to pick, I thought, the Tennessee game.
Right. And I left, since it's my team, and as we always do, if your team's involved, you pick. That's the game that goes last. So you have Friday night, 8 p.m., you have the Indiana Hoosiers versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Gentleman Jack.
Yes, sir. Indiana, they got strong defense. I think they're ninth in the nation against passing, but number 2 overall in the nation. So if they can shut down that running game for Notre Dame and make Riley Leonard throw the ball, because Notre Dame's offense is majority running. And Notre Dame's got their offense, like I said, majority running. They average 225 yards a game rushing. So if Indiana's defense can shut that down, in which Indiana has a solid defense, as I said, but Notre Dame's defense is badass too.
Probably their best defense.
In a while.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to Rourke to pull this game out, I think. And I'm picking Indiana to upset Notre Dame. I know you probably don't care for that, but Notre Dame, 35 carries a game average. If they can stop that running game and make Riley Leonard beat them, I think they can beat Riley Leonard. So Indiana to win this game.
Well, I'm going where my heart is. I wear it on my sleeve. I believe. I think the same thing is going to happen to Indiana that happened to them at Ohio State. I think Notre Dame's defense is fast enough and physical enough that I think they'll wear them down. They'll make them make some mistakes. And at the end of the day, the Fighting Irish will walk away with the W. Jesse Young, hello, sir. How are you doing? Thank you for checking in, as always.
What's up, Jesse?
Matty Ice. I think Indiana will hang around because of their D, but Notre Dame wins it in the 4th. I think we're right along the same thinking. Jack Wagner checking in.
He's on your side, now, brother. He's on your bench, man. He's a Dame fan.
All right, so what we're going to do is look at it again Sunday morning. When you join us for the Sunday Rise, we'll have all the results, and we'll kind of give you a recap of the first round of the first college football playoff. Jack, I just saw something interesting earlier in the day, and I wanted to make a quick stop by it. And it's the Nationals. It's some Nationals news. The Washington Nationals went out, signed Mike Soroka to a 1-year deal. I think it's about $9 million. The craziest part about it is
What's his name in that runner?
Soroka.
Who?
He pitched in. The only reason you don't know him is because I think each of the last 3 years he's had season-ending surgery. So he's missed like 2 of the last 3 years or something like that. When he was on his game, he was a top pitching prospect. So this is a Nats special. They go into the bargain bin, and you pull something out, and you try to see if you can get the best they have or a good season out of them. I mean, they've done it before and then turned this person into an asset. Perfect example is turning the third baseman Candelaria into DJ Hurst. Like, you've had situations where you've turned your garbage into something important or something that's helping your team. Real quick thought on it, and let's get to this game. If you don't have a thought on it, it's cool. Jack?
Oh, excuse me. I didn't hear anything about it. Y'all caught me off guard with it a little bit on the list.
No, you good,
I
man.
don't remember. I don't remember the guy. So
He
go
pitched for
next.
the he would have been, you would have known him for pitching for the Braves. He's a big kid. He's like 6'5", 250. He was one of their young starters, and then he got hurt. Then he got hurt again, and then he played last year in Chicago. And I mean, Chicago was just god awful. So he had terrible numbers in Chicago. He was like 0-10 with a 4.79 ERA. So yeah.
Got you. All right, I'll check him out this year. I'll look into him.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see. Let me knock out comments and then we get to the coup de jour. Let's see. What's up, fellas? Jack Wagner. Did I go backwards or something? Let's see. Oh no, that is current. All right, here we go. Buckeyes from Antonio Boone. He's a big Buckeyes guy.
You know what a Buckeye is, Antonio? A Buckeye. Look in the dictionary. It's a worthless nut.
If he can stay healthy, it's a nice ad, but it's a big if. That's Maddie talking about Soroka. V. Williams, good information, good job.
Thank you, V.
The big guy says he got the Broncos and the under. Antonio Boone, of course, knows what a Buckeye is. He's probably one of the biggest Buckeye fans I know. Let's see. Let's get us back.
Now, I just say that Buckeye joke because my nephew told me that when he was like 8 years old. He was living just outside Columbus. And he says, Uncle Jack, you know what a Buckeye is? I said, yeah, they play for Ohio State. He said, no, a Buckeye is a worthless nut. And I looked in the dictionary and sure enough, that's what it said. So that's the only reason I say that to Ohio State people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now to the main course. We have the Denver Broncos versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I had to say that slow. The line minus 2.5 for the Chargers. Over under is 41.5. This is a very big ball game because this could end up. This could be who gets the 7th seed, or the 6th seed in the playoffs, on the AFC side. With that being said, big game, Jack. Take it away.
Hey, you're right, man. This is a huge game in the AFC West, man. Fighting for that first place spot. Bo Nix has been leading these Denver Broncos, man, very well last 4 or 5 weeks. Javonte Williams needs to get out and get some running game going for him, and that will open everything up for Nix to find his favorite guy, Cortland Sutton. So you got over on the other side, Justin Herbert, man. He is one of 2 quarterbacks. What is it? One of 2 quarterbacks to throw for 20,000 yards in his first 5 years. You know who the other one is?
20,000 yards first 5 years.
Yes, sir. Anybody on the in the group can comment. Justin Herbert is one of 2 quarterbacks to throw for over 20,000 yards in his first 5 years. Who's the other one?
Don't Google it. And you know what, Jack?
Yeah.
You answer the rest of the question. You do the rest of your prediction, and then we'll answer it before I go. That would give time for people to think.
And Justin Herbert, speaking of Justin Herbert, he needs to come out firing. They had a tough loss. He needs to get out and find McConkey, and Dobbins and Edwards need to get their running game established. The Chargers defense is only giving up 17 points a game. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the bookies think it's going to be a low-scoring game because 41 is a pretty low over-under. I'm going to go Denver and the under on this one. I just think I don't know. I think Bo Nix is going to be up for the spotlight of this Thursday night game in a matchup against a top quarterback like Justin Herbert. So that's it right there.
Hold tight. Here we go. We got Boone saying that Broncos. Boone with another comment. But we can get that going. There we go. Them horses hot right now. We got an answer, of course, from the big guy. He said, Marino, don't say anything yet.
Okay.
Matty Ice got Denver winning 24-10. So
Woo!
that's Matty taking the under.
Yeah.
And then you got KG jumping back in saying, nope, Peyton Manning. I'm guessing that's what he's saying. I don't think he'd be saying Eli.
I don't know which one he's saying.
I think he's saying Peyton. If I know him. My guess, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go Phillip Rivers.
I thought you were gonna go Marino.
I would normally.
No. KG's second pick was right. It was Peyton Manning. That's good company right there, man. But Herbert played a lot of catch-up ball in his previous years, getting blown out. You can put up big numbers that way, but it's still nice company, man.
He says, damn sure ain't Alicia. Jack
No.
dropped his name in the hat. He dropped Ben Roethlisberger. I think Roethlisberger's rookie year made it tough for him because he didn't really throw for a lot of yards. They leaned heavy on the bus.
Correct.
And with that being said, let's go ahead. Broncos, Chargers for me. I'm with the group right now. I think the Broncos win this ball game because I think the Chargers were living a little bit over their skis, and I think they're starting to fall on their face a little bit. They've been really inconsistent so far this year. So I'm gonna take the Broncos. I'm gonna go under, but I think it's gonna be a little because the AFC West has been playing some weird ball games. So I'm gonna go with like a 23-16 type of ball game. That should still keep me under. That should put me right at 39, I think. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yep. You say Denver under, right?
Yep.
Huh. Wasn't expecting that today. Wasn't expecting all of us to say the same thing today, but what did Matty call? He called the under too? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he called under 24-10, 34.
Yeah, I'll put him on there.
Boone says it's not fair. KG's a statistician. Yo, he is the what we call him the other night, NFL Films. He's the NFL film. He's our historian.
Yes, he is.
Chargers lost their number one running back. The poor thing about J.K. Dobbins is he always gets hurt, and it's never something small. He doesn't roll an ankle. He'll break the ankle and shatter the ligaments and all that other stuff. So
Dobbins ain't playing today?
I haven't gotten any word. I haven't seen any pregame. I'm actually watching Dario.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. So this means the Chargers get the upset. Since everybody picked the Broncos, he just gave them the curse. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I think this is a big game though. He's out. We decide everything out.
Dobbins is out. Edwards is starting.
Okay, so let's go. Dobbins out. Edwards starting. I think we're probably right up against kickoff. Jack, you got anything quick you want to say?
No, not today. I don't. Thank you, all our viewers, though. Thank you, man. We really have fun putting these shows together and love interacting with all you guys. So thank you very much.
I'm thinking all week because with their help, it makes up for not having a third person. With all the people in the comments, we get a nice range of thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to hear KG. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Oh my goodness.
You better go ahead, man. KG gonna give you walking papers.
Stupid.
We got a comment here. Doug Rome just commented, and Dougie Rome is going to be on our show in January in the passenger seat. So last night we had DJ Woody O'Goody, the founder of the Commander's Fight song Left Hand Up, was on in the passenger seat last night. And we had a good time with Woody. You can go ahead and check it out on YouTube. Watch it anytime you want. It's a good show in the passenger seat. It's on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network.
And then Maddie drops. Ovi should be back soon after the Christmas break. By the way, I've heard people say that Ovi should be back around. I think they play Toronto right after Christmas. I think that's the game that everybody thinks he's going to play in. So it's going to be interesting. Doug, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. We had fun last night trying to get that going. Did we ever post the song? I can't remember when we posted the song.
Mm-mm.
All right, so we got to do that.
Got to put the song on our page.
Okay. I'll post the song in the Sideline Junkies, and then I'll post the interview again probably sometime later this evening. With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. He's the Gentleman Jack because I'm pointing the wrong way. I'm the Midnight Rider. We want to thank everybody for watching, everybody for commenting. We should be back at full strength on Sunday morning for the Sunday Rise. Don't forget Saturday night, we got the WrestleManiacs. And then Saturday morning, at some point, we got the greatest fictitious college football show in the land, the Gridiron. With that all being said, we are out of here. And supposedly we don't do no overtime. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.